Hi, good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Hey everybody, how are you doing?
Hi, everybody. So hopefully most of you have been to our COVID-19 outbreak webinar series. We are so thrilled, A, to partner with SkinScript, and B, to have such a good relationship with them that Dave is willing to come in and be our guest today for Q&A. Thank you, Dave. We so appreciate it. Got my SkinScript shirt on, ready to go. Before we get started, I just want to, of course, introduce Dave and also introduce Tiffany if you don't know her. Tiffany is our instructor from our California office. We are Alexander's Aesthetics. Alexander's Aesthetics has been around for 30 years as a wholesale distributor for skincare supplies. We are very happy to be partnering with SkinScript and some other amazing vendors in the industry and provide you with ongoing education, as SkinScript also does as well, so amazingly. Let's see, we are gonna go through a couple slides and then we are gonna open it up to a Q&A. So before we get started, I want you to go into your control panel, make sure you can find that questions box. And when you go into the questions box, I actually learned this from Dave, put in asking people where they're calling in from. So go ahead,
Cool.
questions box, and let us know where you're calling in from, because we really love to see where everyone is calling in from. And I want you to be able to find the questions box so you can get your questions answered during the Q&A. The other thing I want to point out to you is in the handouts section, the slides are in the handout section, so you can download that as well. It's in a PDF format. You can only do that when you're on the webinar. So if you can do that sometime during this hour, that would be great. So Dave, we've got a lot of people coming in here. You can see.
I can see them. We got them all over from Connecticut, Rhode Island, Texas, Florida. My gosh, you cut a wide swath. There's another Connecticut. Wow, love it.
Yeah,
First one
all
to California. Yep. Is C on today? Is C watching today?
I don't know if she is going to be on. She and my dad are running the store in California, and they're pretty swamped, just the two of them. So
Well, if they are, I wanted to say hello to them. I have a special place in my heart for
She's
both.
She's going to watch it later. We talked about it yesterday. Oh, the cat. Sorry.
Yes. So a little bit about Alexander's Aesthetics. It was started by our cousin, Alexander, and he passed away, sadly, and was taken over by his mom, Margaret, for a short period of time. And my mom then took it over from her about 20 years ago, and she's just an amazing businesswoman and created a really nice business, expanding it once the internet came in, and brought on some amazing partnerships like SkinScript to kind of expand to that. So she's a really amazing person, and her and my dad are there running the store while we can't have the store open, but are doing shipping. We're doing drop shipping. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And then my husband and I were able to open the store about 4.5 years ago in Colorado to kind of expand our reach to the nation. And it's just been such a pleasure to be in this industry. And
I love working with you guys. It's so easy working with you guys. I think you have great support. I'm looking at Tiffany here. If you want to see a good presenter out there, everybody, check out Tiffany when we get back to the shows. I know you're a great waxer. And back to C, just for 1 second, I don't know if she's on yet or not. I think she deserves an award for the nicest person in the industry. I mean, don't you think? Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I have known her for years, but from the moment I met her, you could just feel her joy. It's a mixture of love and joy, but that just radiates from her. So I love that about her. I like going out to dinner with you guys at the shows and hanging out. I think it's so cool. So glad to be with you guys today.
And she is on, and she did send a little note that said, yes, we're here. Hugs to you.
Good. Hey, C. Yep.
So she is here.
Good.
Awesome. Hi, Mom. All right. So with that, Dave, I think we will, I'm going to bring up the presentation here, and you tell me when you want me to go ahead and advance. But again, this is Dave. So Dave, I'll let you take it over from here.
Okay, so everybody, I was working with Alexander's Aesthetics, and they asked me to join in today just to kind of field some questions, kind of common questions that they seem to have from time to time. And so I know that Wendy emailed you guys, and we got back a list of questions. However, we did want to go through a few slides here just to kick us off. So first slide up, Wendy, what have you got for that one? So as you know about us, we're an enzyme-based company, gentle yet effective. If you look at that first line, you see fruit-based enzymes, and we would remark that you should start there. We have enzymes, as you know, like raspberry peach or coconut enzymes, super gentle, and you got to start somewhere, so we recommend that. And then our other enzymes have different variances of acid in them, okay? So what you're left with is a really beefy, progressive exfoliation, not aggressive, but progressive, right? And I'm using those words to kind of help you illustrate this progression into treatment for your clients, okay? If you're new to us, probably a lot of you are not new because you've been working with Alexander's Aesthetics for a while, but just kind of the format of how we view things, you know, we're safe for all Fitzpatrick types. It just might take you a few more services to get there. But when you work with the skin in a slower fashion, that's how it really changes. And you're not throwing people into healing responses. They don't have a lot of downtime. So that's the benefit of using enzymes. Yes, you can always get stronger, but what we say in our classes, I take a progressive rather than an aggressive approach to skincare. And that really makes sense. Let me say that once more. I take a progressive rather than an aggressive approach to skincare. That tells your client that you're into safety. Yes, you want their skin to change. You're going to get it to do that, but you'll do that through progression rather than aggression. Of course, we have those no minimum order requirements. That really helps you guys out. We have a really nice fast shipping time as well. We have seasonal facial products, and I know that we're going to talk about those today, so I won't say too much about those right now, except we do really spice it up with that to keep things going, moving forward, keep clients interested with that. We don't like third-party vendors, so we discourage dumping this online. Our logic is this: if you guys are going to buy from us, we don't force the minimum order. So if you're going to go out of business, just give this away to your friends, family, your churches as shelter, something like that. Because when you decide to go out of business, or you buy this and you're knowingly going to put it online, it muddies the water for everybody, all the other estheticians in your area and the United States who are valid accounts. Remember, we only sell this to the licensed esthetician, so you guys can make your money to move this through you. So should you ever see online like eBay or Overstock or those types of stuff, not to say those companies are bad, it's just our products don't belong on there. We don't want them sold through that because it does take a licensed professional to recommend our products, okay? We have a fair sampling program. Once you start writing retail with us, we pack the accompanying sample in with that product, so your samples are free. And then I'm going to encourage you, if you haven't already, to go onto SkinScript, our main website, and search out SkinScript 101. That is a learning management system for you, and that's 4 hours worth of classes start to finish. Of course, you can bookmark your work and come back to it, but that's just like coming to product knowledge. It's a very well-written class. Professionally voiced over. There's little games you play within it, so it gives you a really full breadth of our product knowledge. So we would encourage you to do that. So that's kind of the things, the kickoff of that. Wendy, I don't know if you had anything to add to that. I know you guys may have some other policies, but that's kind of how we view things.
Yeah, no, it's great. We do the same policy as you with the shipping and all that kind of stuff, no minimum. So we follow everything. We follow your lead. Everything that you guys do, we do.
Okay.
One thing I didn't do is show the new video that you guys have.
Oh, very cool.
You want me to do that?
Yeah,
before
I do that, Wendy, let me just 2 seconds about that. You guys, Wendy's going to put up a video for you. It lives at the bottom of our main website. So skinscriptrx.com. You can review this later. Just scroll down to the foot of the website there. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to we have a new, we've met some new people, and they really wanted to offer us a softer image and watercolory, softer side of aesthetics. So that's why we did this. I think it's cute. It captures us as a company, so I'll let you guys I'd like some feedback in the questions box, though, as you guys.
Oh, cool.
What are your thoughts about this?
Okay, cool. All right, here it goes. I love it.
Yeah, what'd you guys think of that? Short, sweet. Yeah, I think it captures us as a company. I like that softness of it, you know. So that's new for us, and so you can share that with your friends and family as well. All right, thank you for sharing that, Wendy. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. All right, let me go back to the slides here.
This next one, which order of exfoliation do you choose? You probably have seen this out there. We talk about it a lot. And in the first column, what you're looking at is some choices that you have when you think about double and triple methods of exfoliation. So, and if you look at that first column where you would put an enzyme or a peel on first, and then follow it says by mechanical exfoliation like microderm or dermaplaning, what would happen to the skin? Well, you can see that the enzyme would soften more of the skin, and then the microderm comes along and removes more of the stratum corneum. And out of these three examples, the first column is the most gentle. Okay, enzyme on the skin softens, you come along, and microderm after that, it looks great. Okay, if you move over into the second column, now we're talking a little bit more progression, right? So there you would microderm first. Think about what that would be. I'm going to microderm, I'm going to dermaplane, stratum corneum, and then put an enzyme on. Can you see how much deeper that would be? If you go to the bottom of that second column, it says much more peeling, much more service, you know, rendered on that. Okay. The third column is not for the faint of heart, and it's certainly nowhere to start. Okay. And the reason, you guys, the reason I built this chart like this is because I had a call. It's been a couple of years ago. And this nice young esthetician, brand new, she goes, "Hey, I just wanted to say that my client had a bad reaction to your product." I said, "Oh, really? What happened?" And she goes, "Well, I did this enzyme. I did a pumpkin enzyme. And by the way, that's our strongest enzyme. So I did an enzyme. I took that off. I did a really pretty good microderm. And then I did 3 layers of TCA." Wow, that's a lot. Then she goes, "Now my client's sitting here in front of me 4 days later. Her face is peeling and cracking and swollen and stuff. And it's her wedding this Friday, wouldn't you know?" So that drove me crazy. And I asked that Esther, why did you do all that? Why did you do all that in a first-time client? And she goes, I just wanted to make a good first impression. Darn it, isn't that, I hear that quite a bit. So that drove me into making this slide here. So you guys take it easy on people's skin. And in fact, the way that we have those written in our protocol books and our manuals are the most gentle. That states that you put an enzyme on the skin, you leave it for 7 to 10 minutes, you let it process, you remove it and go on with your mask or your second mask in 7 to 10 minutes. So, what you're looking at with this slide is how to take enzymes and clients that are already conditioned for these enzymes and peels to make it a little bit more progressive. Does any questions on that? You may have some. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But just kind of getting that out there that yes. Oh, and let me finish this, Wendy, then we can move on. Sometimes people go, oh, poo-poo, these enzymes don't do anything. They smell good, but I want to make them stronger. Well, you know what? And you can do that. That slide shows you can, but don't make them stronger until you've worked with our product and you know what they're appropriate for and know how to use them on their own. And then you can make them stronger after that. Okay, any questions? You can use your questions box in the right side of your screen. I love this treatment protocol here. I have it marked here, the purple box at the bottom. It's in our product catalog as well as our product manual. We talk about this all the time. And this helps skin conditions. Let me show you. If you look into week 1, we would do an enzyme there, right? And I listed the most crucial home care for most skin types, okay? Trying to be pretty general here on that. But that glycolic cleanser, the retinol scrub, the glycolic retinol pads, the reason that's on that list is that's your tyrosinase inhibitor. That is your products that are going to lighten skin, they're going to make it safe to peel. So that's why we need you to have those, of course, an appropriate moisturizer and an SPF. You come back week 2, yes, so, just 7 to 10 days later, a week later, and you're going to do a lactic peel. Why would you choose lactic early on in the treatment? Well, if you think back to your acid knowledge, you know that lactic acid provides hydration for the skin. And so we're going to hit the skin with lactic first, and then you can see week 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the skin will behave better because of that lactic acid application. It has more moisture within its structure to promote change, okay? 7 to 10 days later, they come back and you see that you would do a glycolic peel. What does glycolic acid do? Well, it weakens desmosomes, shears skin down, starts opening up acne impactions. Glycolic acid is the #1 anti-aging acid out there. That's why we use it. So you can see we're kind of walking down a pathway, aren't we, of treatment. Enzyme to lactic to establish hydration, glycolic to start to shear skin down, and then you'll see in week 4 we start with our TCA, trichloroacetic acid. Notice that you have 2 layers on that first, and that's for safety. Everybody will do great with 2 layers, and then you can see in week 8, after a couple of weeks of rest period, you could build that TCA up 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 layers if you need to. That is layer dependent. The more you apply, the more they'll peel. But again, that's a choice you make, and that's a clinical choice. Just because we say 8 doesn't mean you have to get 8 on there at all cost. In fact, most of my clients that have used this for years reside around layers 4, 5, and 6, and that's enough for them, okay? So my last point on this, notice that the platform upon which this treatment protocol sets is home care. You cannot do anything without home care. So if they're not willing to invest in that change and invest in you and then your product, then I would not suggest doing any of this treatment, right? Because they're not going to be happy, you're not going to be happy. So really get them on home care, and that's the place to start, as you know, out there. Okay, but we have different samples. We've got those 2-ounce bottles, we've got little sample sets, we've got the retail size. So there's a price point for everybody at SkinScript as well. So any questions on that? This does work with pigmentation, and it works with texture and post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation as well as acne as well. All right, so next slide. This is we wanted to kind of open it up and see what you guys thought about our seasonal monthly specials. This is slide that we developed. It's just kind of a random look at what we've done in years past. So this is in and amongst the regular enzymes that we have, right? The lemon zest and the cherry enzyme and the pumpkin and all that stuff is standard. And then we do seasonal enzymes. We only package a few thousand of those and we sell out. So the question is going to be, how do I know what you're going to be doing from month to month? Well, here's your first answer on that. There's a couple of different answers. Number one, if you watch our social media, we're always prompting you for that about a month or 2 months ahead. So you can see on our social media, our Instagram, our Facebook, our social media platforms, that we start talking about ingredients, and then you'll start seeing pictures, and then you're going to think, oh gosh, it's not Father's Day yet, it's only April, what's going on? Well, that's our prompt to you to start getting your Father's Day stuff, or your, we'll start in October or September for the holidays, right? So always be about 2 months ahead thinking about what your specials are. Another thing, if you're an account member of ours, if you buy from us, you can log onto your account and log into the Resource Center. And Stormy, our marketing person, has developed a seasonal monthly duo calendar. Now we're kind of, we kind of need to watch how we do that, because we don't want you to go in and, develop all these expensive marketing campaigns, because what would happen if we could not get an ingredient, if we take an ingredient hold and then couldn't produce that enzyme 6 months down the road? So kind of watch that too. You might want to call us before you pull the trigger on your marketing campaigns to make sure we have it. That's our worry. As we get stuff too far out in front of us, we might take some ingredient hold and not be able to produce that. So that's the chance we'll take, and we'll let you guys know if that would happen. But so far we're good. So a couple places to look for duo sets. Okay. By the way, my last thought on that, Wendy, is when we do our duo sets, these are not the strongest things in your toolbox, are they? They're meant to be gentle, to fit most of your clientele, and to be seasonal. We want you to use these, run out of them, and move on to the next season. Okay, so you should not really have tons of this laying around at the end of that season. But that's cool, because guess what? There's no minimum orders. Buy what you want, how you want on that. Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
We're going to have Tiff pop in to do talk about these things.
Okay.
Well, with you, and then we'll get to questions.
There I am.
There she is.
All right, my friends. So before we get to the questions, which I'm so excited that you guys have so many, because me too. I mean, who doesn't have questions for Jake? We have some other really cool webinars coming up that we're doing here pretty soon. We've got one next week that I'm really looking forward to. Well, two next week, actually. One with Lycon, and Lindsay is our distributor to us from Lycon. So we're excited to have her on with us. So that's going to be waxing. It's going to be product knowledge information. And then we've also got an educator from Seborrheic that's going to come on and do some product knowledge with us as well. So that's going to be super exciting. So all of your waxing questions can be answered. I'll be in there with the wonderful ladies as well. And as you can see, as always, our awesome Farhana has been able to put those cool little, I don't even know what they're called, but they're fancy little things that if you put your camera up to it, it brings you right to the website, and you can log in, load, or sign up for those webinars from this little page here, guys.
Cool.
Right? Those are so cool. I don't know how Farhana figures that stuff out, but I'm an esthetician. She does all that cool stuff. Alexander's, we have lowered our shipping from $200 to $100 for free shipping for online orders. Orders that are only of SkinScript, we're offering free shipping over the $15 until May 31st. So as long as California and where we are located here, we're going to be locked down till May 31st. So we're doing that free shipping with SkinScript, which is awesome. Our website, Farhana, again, has done some really cool new stuff. On our website, she's created sections on there, so it's easy for you to find. So there's the PPE, your personal protective equipment. You click on that little link and it brings up everything that we carry that it falls under that category for you. So again, you don't have to search around. And then she also created a cool retail section, same thing. So when you're looking to do drop shipping for your clients, which we are doing only for retail items, keep that in mind. So anything in that little section, you click on that and it has everything that you can retail to your clients, which is super cool. So again, takes out the guesswork for you. If you're close to our location in Burlingame or even if you're not, if you feel like taking a drive to our Burlingame or Colorado location, we are doing curbside pickup as well, because our company is so awesome that it's husband and wife on both sides, and they're the ones in the office still packing and loading stuff up. And again, we are doing drop shipping to your clients, which means that if you can't drop it off to your client, or again, you don't have it in stock, like I'm not keeping everything in stock right now, right? So if I have a client that I need something shipped to, I can place my order, say it's shipping to a client, and then we don't put your invoice in the box and it just gets shipped straight out. That way you don't have to pack it and ship it as well. It just can go straight to your client. So we've tried to make it as easy for you as possible. Awesome. And again, you can thank Rahana for all the cool stuff on the internet. So yeah, so here we are. This is how you get in touch with us. Again, that cool little code at the bottom, if you just put your phone up to it, it'll take you straight to our website. And then again, it's pretty easy to navigate from there. If you are not an existing client, you can create a really quick, easy profile. You'll have to have your license number in there, which we do make sure that it is updated license, and then you can order away.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's all about being prepared on that ordering. I love that drop ship. We're doing a lot of that for people right now. You guys, if you're not drop shipping, consider drop shipping. It really helps keep money in your pocket in times like this, and it kind of keeps people at your business at the front of mind for them as well. Okay. So Tiffany, what questions do you have today? I think we got a lot.
Yeah, we do. That's Wendy. Wendy's better at organizing.
Do you want to start, Dave, with the questions? Do you want to start with the questions that I sent over to you?
Yes. Yep. But can you read them and then I'll do the answer?
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Might break it up for the listeners a little bit better.
You might have answered this, so just let me know. But when or what month will you be using each SkinScript facial duo?
Yep. And you're right. I had mentioned that we have a calendar that resides on in our resource center on our main website. You'll click down into resource and look for monthly duo sets. And that is a calendar, but don't get too head over heels and don't do too much forward marketing, because we're always at risk of maybe not getting an ingredient, not being able to produce something. Like I said, it's never happened like that before, but you never know. So, but it's there for you. You want to be prepared, and I get that. I mean, I understand that. So typically 2 months prior to any season, we start talking about what's coming up for ingredients and that. And so watch our website, go to our main website or our social media.
Okay. And regarding the seasonal enzymes, can you explain how they might be different from the classic ones that are year-round, that are in the regular?
Yeah, we typically don't. We do put some acid in it, but overall they're gentle. They're meant to be your marketing facial and a little bit more gentle overall and applicable to all skin types. That's kind of our vision for that. Another thing, it's not like we, package a cajillion numbers of those. It's a very tight number. So estheticians out there, if something appeals to you, you can do some fun stuff with it. Don't wait to order. As soon as we drop that in our newsletter and our information and our website and stuff, snag it so you don't miss out on that stuff. Okay.
Okay, great.
Another thing, Wendy, too, is the summer, and I know this is a question too. We have a seasonal additive. So we have a winter complex and a summer complex. The winter complex, if you see that, we typically use that in November, December, January, February, that group of enzymes, because that brings more hydration into the skin. And then in the summer times, May, June, July, August, those enzymes typically have summer complex in it, and that helps keep the skin a little bit more matte, and it works a little bit more with dissolving a little bit more oils on that. So, you know, summer skin, winter skin in the North American continent changes a little bit, so we allow for that with our enzymes.
Okay, great. Can you discuss eye treatments that you recommend with SkinScript?
You know, eye treatments for us, you would do a cleanse anyway. We love pomegranate cleanser. Remember, pomegranate and green tea cleansers both remove makeup. So I'm a big fan of the pomegranate cleanser, putting that in a cotton round, working it over the eye. Of course, you'd be cleansing anyway during a facial. But as you kind of move into the eye treatment category or that time of your facial, I would do stuff like this. I would put some ageless hydrating serum on, just kind of pat it under and over the eyelid, and then cover that up with seaweed mask, right? Or goji berry mask, okay? Another trick that people do out here is they put that ageless serum on the skin and they cover it up with a nice swath of our seaweed mask, and then they have like microcurrent machines, and they can push that in and lift that area. So think about microcurrent. Think about using your galvanic machines on that. And my indication there was seaweed mask will help propel that product into the skin. Seaweed, that charge will move through that product. So push that in as well. And then you would finish up with any eye serum or eye cream after you clean that area up.
Okay, great. All right. Here's a question. I've been hearing a lot about your enzymes and estheticians boosting them with other products. How does that work?
Well, boosting with our acids, how about that? So all of our enzymes, SkinScript, we assume that you could boost it with an acid. So, but each acid does one thing, doesn't it? So you have to kind of consider what benefit do you want to bring to the skin. So if I had somebody really dry on my skin as a first-time client, I myself would probably use coconut enzyme because it's hydrating and it's gentle, and they've never had treatment. The second time that they were with me, I might choose to boost that. So I take my same enzyme, I'd put some in a dish, the coconut, and since they were so dry, I would put 1 pump of lactic acid, stir, 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 and then on the skin that goes, okay? So you're mixing an acid into an existing enzyme to bring the benefit of that acid to the skin. Okay, so lactic acid hydrates. What does glycolic acid do? Well, you'd use that to open up skin, acne impactions, or anti-aging treatments. Another thing that, since we're talking about acids, salicylic goes after oil. So, you know, you look down, you're kind of doing a congested, acne, oily, treatment. You could take some of the cranberry turnover and put it across the blackheads where the nose, or the nose where the blackheads are at, or you could spot treat pustular activity with our salicylic peel as well, the cranberry turnover. So that's how you boost, making an enzyme stronger by adding an acid to it. Of course, you should consider neutralizing if that's still active. Usually that warm towel will cut that off, you know, and neutralize that acid. But if they're super tingly, get your neutralization solution out and work that over the skin as well.
Great.
So there's that.
Does SkinScript offer samples for sale? I want to create mini facial kits to resell to my clients and wonder what my options are.
Yep, you do. We sell the samples, but we do not. We don't recommend sending the enzymes out. That's a no-no from us. You know why? Because those enzymes are too active for the general public and they might harm themselves with it. So I know that was really popular here a couple of months ago, but we kind of talked people back out of that. Another thing that we don't really like about that is you're selling your treatments out the front door. You know, you could train your clients just to keep asking for the enzymes, and then you feel compelled to really do that, you know. So how about this? Sell them stuff like retinol scrub, raspberry scrub for exfoliation, and then go along. Now, things you could sample out to them is goji berry mask, the seaweed mask, the charcoal mask, strawberry spearmint mask, because those don't contain enzymes or acids and they're safe for application. So let them exfoliate with a scrub and then put a hydrator in there, put a cleanser in there, that type of stuff. And I even see other people doing those jade rollers or stuff like that. And Wendy, you might be able to come up with some stuff that you're working with at Alexander's to put in that bag too, that they could really make a nice selection for their client. But from our perspective, we don't like the enzymes.
Yes, and if I could just jump in, we follow everything that you guys do as well. So just want to refer people back to our website, to that retail section, where we can, offer the items that are available for you to retail. The enzymes and masks are not on there.
Yep. Okay.
And then the other thing is, for samples, we don't have them on our website, but if you would like to order samples through Alexander's, just give us a call and we can. We've been doing that during the shutdown time. When we place our orders, which are on a regular basis, we can order them in for our clients as well. So,
but that's the questions out there. I would suggest in your marketing endeavors on that, indicate that there's somewhere to go. Don't let your clients think, oh, I'm just going to live on samples the rest of my life, because you want to move them onto the retail side. It's a better cost for the client overall. So whatever you need to do, start moving them over into the real retail.
All right, thanks, Dave. All right, here's another question. I have a client who has melasma. She just gave birth, but is not breastfeeding. What can I recommend for home care to help her?
Well, if she's not breastfeeding and she's okay to resume treatments, I would say first off, glycolic retinol pads, get her into skin lightening. Of course, that might mean another whole suite of products. That would be stuff like a cleanser, green tea cleanser, cucumber toner, glycolic retinol pads. That's the doer on that, and then her moisturizer and SPF. If you're looking at treatment, whoever asked this question, look back to the protocol that we talked about 20 minutes ago. It's that protocol on the slides here. That will work for pigmentation, but the underpinnings of that is home care. I'm going to refer you right back to the glycolic pads for that. So right. Yay as well, okay?
Okay, when doing a glycolic peel, why do we not apply moisturizer to finish?
Yeah, we get this question a lot. We let the acid be the acid. Let the chemical peel be the peel just for a short amount of time. So during your process, during your service, we say neutralize that off, clean off the skin, put SPF on. For that next 6 to 8 hours, yeah, their skin's going to feel dry, right? So before bedtime or early the next morning, they would gently wash their skin and start hydrating right away. Now, I don't want to promote dryness, but I don't want to infiltrate that acid with too many hydrating properties because it kind of slows down the effect of that acid, okay? So that's why we say just let the acid be the acid. We don't put a second mask on the skin or moisturizers or anything, just SPF.
Okay. You already answered this question, but I think we should bring it up again. Can I retail masks and enzymes to my clients?
No. The short answer on that is no. And to go over that again, you don't want to sell your enzymes out the front door. That's your treatment, right? Enzymes can be quite active and clients dig it. I mean, they want to get there. You'll have no problem selling them. I'm not saying that. But then what happens when they won't come back to you and they're just hounding you for that enzyme sample over and over and over and over, right? So don't create the problem. And then, Wendy, I think you guys say that we don't sell the enzymes or the masks. Is that what you were saying on that?
Yeah, well, if that's what we follow what you do. So whatever.
Yeah, that's our statement. Don't sell the enzymes. Now, the second masks, the goji, the seaweed, yeah, okay, but even that's risky if you ask me. It's not going to hurt their skin, but then that same client's just going to want to retail that over and over. But you could retail that to them as well. It'd be 60, 70 bucks, something like that for a 4-ounce container. But I want them coming back to me for my services. That's my logic with that.
Right. Okay. Can you suggest products for the aging, saggy neck?
Oh, absolutely. Passion fruit enzyme. How's that? That's a short answer. Passion fruit enzyme done in a series of 6, once a week. Put that on the décolleté, saggy neck, jowls. Remember, that has collagen peptide in it, and that turns on the circulatory system to drive the fibroblasts to lay down more collagen and elastin. So that's why we say passion fruit on that. That décolleté, man, that catches a lot of sun down in here, doesn't it? When I'm training people, I don't even, people have wrecked their décolleté. I call it the reccolleté. I call it the recolite because people have damaged it with so much sun, but we can kind of soften that. You know, hey, another good, if you're taking notes out there, beta carotene papain renewal serum is a real miracle worker up here in that sun damaged area. It softens this triangular, you know, pigmented area of skin, softens it, reconditions it. So passion fruit and beta carotene.
Okay, great. What is the best moisturizer for dry skin acne besides the light aloe moisturizer?
Yeah, light aloe can be a little bit too light. Try to move them into cactine balancing. That'd be my goal if you wanted something lighter, but with a lot more moisture to it. Super light on that.
Okay.
You know, another thing too, Wendy, they could do is they could try the ageless serum, one or two drops of ageless. That is really super light, but yet attaches a lot of moisture to the skin. So.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yes, Tiffany talks about that one in almost every webinar, the ageless hydrating serum, because it's just so great.
Great product.
How do you keep, or your company, or Lisa, keep Skin Script from being sold online by third-party companies?
We police it every day. We have a person that has the job. Yeah, it's a lot of work to cull through all those sites. We do find it from time to time, and then we have a process that we ask them very politely to take it off. And, you know, some people don't want to, but after we kind of plead our case, most people to date have been okay. But man, that's a lot of work to do that. But so far, so good. We're not heavy online.
All right. What products can I use for rosacea clients?
The rosacea, keep it gentle, keep it hydrating. Pomegranate cleanser, maybe green tea cleanser, that could be a little bit too much. So pomegranate, cucumber toner, ageless serum. So Tiffany, here's our ageless serum again. Retinol scrub used very, very gently. You know, rosacea skin still needs to be exfoliated, you know, so kind of use that gentle, and then their chosen moisturizer for that. You know, from an enzyme perspective, I'd use raspberry peach because there's no acids, and raspberries calm red skin. Red calms red.
Okay, good to know. This next question, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sound this word out, but treating skin with seborrheic dermatitis?
Yeah, seborrheic dermatitis.
Thank you.
That is a condition. You know, it's kind of flaky stuff up in scalp. You know, that's where people get it mostly, but it can appear on eyebrows and patchy dry skin. Fits to skin, has it a lot, you know. Number one, we shouldn't comment too much on it because that's a skin condition, isn't it? And we should not be treating conditions. So that's part one, know your scope of practice. Number two, hydration helps that. We know that hydration helps it. So think about what enzymes would be hydrating. Coconut enzyme, right? Raspberry peach, and then that'd be nice exfoliation. From a scrub point of view, gently with the raspberry scrub, rinse that off, and then go to town with cucumber toner, ageless serum, latch moisture onto where it needs to go. You know, another thing that's kind of a common over-the-counter type of treatment is your blue shampoos. You know, the ones with that work with dandruff. You know, the selenium in there helps control seborrheic dermatitis as well.
Great.
So, yeah.
The cranberry peel, how do we prep for it, or can you just offer this one?
Yeah, you know what? It's better prepped. All skins will behave better in treatment if they're prepped appropriately. So the appropriate cleanser, cucumber toner, the glycolic retinol pads, that's the qualifier. The glycolic retinol pads are your tyrosinase inhibitors. They would do a week's prior to that, and then it makes it safe for any peeling. The thing I like about our cranberry enzyme, our cranberry turnover peel, is it's easy to spot treat with. It's easy to control. You can use it full face application. If you do, you know, we always talk to people about how things feel on the skin. Well, that salicylic acid molecule is always warm to the skin. So what happens, it spikes up for a couple of minutes and then it'll drift off and go away. So, you know, just, you know, if you have people that are kind of challenged with that. Just kind of coach them through that, have them breathe through it for a couple of minutes, and then it gets comfortable again. You always see peeling with our cranberry turnover peel, but that's not the reason to use it. I've had some comments made over the years, but hey, I know my client wants to peel. I'm going to use that because I know she'll peel. But then the question becomes, well, wait, she's got dry skin. I don't care, I want to peel her. Anyway, well, if you use that, you're taking too many oils away from the skin. So each acid does one thing. So kind of go back to that. And I'm kind of digressing here, Wendy, but there's a lot to think about with peels, isn't there? You just can't throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Each acid does one thing.
Okay, thank you.
But they have to, I'm sorry, Wendy, I have to finish on it.
Go.
Yes, peel or pre-peel them. They've got to be prepped. That's the short answer for that.
Okay, great. We're getting a few questions about preparing for COVID-19, reopening supplies that we're going to asking about supplies and kind of what you're doing in your room. So I'd love to bring Tiffany back on also to talk about a little bit about the webinar we did yesterday, and you kind of hear from both of you what you guys are.
From my perspective, we're going to have to follow your state's guidelines. The CDC guidelines. We out here in Arizona have, I think we're supposed to hear from our governor tomorrow or the next day, something like that. I know people are anxious about that. I know that ASCP had a document or a webinar as well about that. You might go back to ASCP and you might check your state board sites out too. I know that they're starting to unroll some stuff too, post things. You're going to have to, for the very least, you have to be masked up. And, I hear longer times between treatments. You're going to have to sanitize appropriately. But we should be used to that, everybody. We're kind of germaphobes in this industry. So we've been taking care of that a lot of years. So, Tiffany, what's your thoughts on that? By the way, I love that cat sitting on you.
She's very into having to sit on me right now. Not sure why, but she decided she has to.
Her,
This is Wednesday. Her name is Wednesday, actually, guys. So welcome to Wednesday.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think this is, like Dave said, you just have to keep looking at all of the resources that we have at us at Alexander's. We are definitely trying to do our best to keep in stock everything that we're going to need. C and I actually chatted about this for a minute yesterday, the things that we think that you're going to really need to restock up on. But I think as things slowly start to roll out, you're going to have to kind of constantly change the protocols, right, and the progression. And yesterday, we did do a webinar about it yesterday, but iSpa had a really cool checklist. I was actually just playing around with it before we started this webinar about how, the protocols that you want to do. It has an email that you can just plug in your spa information in there to send out to your clients. That way you don't have to think of the base of the email. I've just been kind of starting to write down the things that I know I need to do in between every client, or change that up if I've needed to. I've always been the over cleaner, I think, so there's not much I'm going to have to do, but still, we're all in the guessing game, I think is what it is too, right?
Yeah. So I guess on that, when you're going to have to follow the leaders, I guess, on some of that,
Yep. So I went ahead and put in the chat a link to the iSpa resources that Tiffany was just talking to. Some good information out there. Again, all of our webinars are on our website at under classes, and we have all of our recordings up there, and we did do one yesterday, and you can reach out to us about those as well. Okay, thanks both of you. How often can you get an enzyme treatment?
About every week, 7 to 10 days, especially on the gentle ones, coconut or raspberry. But the thing is, you do want to probably progress them a little bit. The more progressive you go, it might be 1 week to 2 weeks. But keep in mind, we're a gentle enzyme company. We're not harsh peeling. So not every week.
Okay, great. There were a lot of questions about peels. So not anything super specific, but I wanted to just have you point out some of the classes that you guys have. We can talk about a webinar that we did on peels, but you go first.
Well, we have one called Ensuring Successful Chemical Peels, and everybody, I'm just in the process of kind of redoing that webinar, and I'm going to post some stuff, if not today, tomorrow. I'll have another chemical peel webinar here online in probably 2 weeks' time. My schedule's kind of getting kind of packed right now, but I'll find a time probably on a Monday when I do that. So the general overall people could be looking for that, and we post that out, and Wendy, you guys would get that information as well. So that's kind of how we're going to do, at least for the month of May. Lots of outreach. We don't know what June and July brings us. I do have a peel class here at corporate office, but we only allowed 10 people into that anyway. So maybe in later June, those classes to be running again. I hope so. So I like this type of education, but there is something, you know, standing in front of people, actually touching people or seeing people you're talking to. It makes it a little bit easier when you're teaching, you know?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So just, I put another link up into the chat box, and this link is to our classes page. And on there, again, is a link to all of our webinars, but we also have a link in there to SkinScript too. So the SkinScript training videos, and some people were asking how they get to the SkinScript 101. You can link it from go to the link from our website. You could go to the SkinScript website and sign up there. So I just want to make sure everybody.
And you know, Wendy, another thing that I should say too is listeners out there, if you go out to YouTube and search out SkinScript skincare channel, we have a ton of webinars that live out there. So those are free for the taking too. You can spend all day listening to stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, Dave, let's get into, let's see. Here's a question. Do you have training on understanding darker Fitzpatricks and what products you can use on them?
Well, our stuff we kind of generally say is for all Fitzpatricks. So I do talk about that in our histology programs and stuff, but our products are formulated for safety for all fits. So you don't have to worry about that too much. And that has to do with pHs and percentages of ingredients and stuff like that.
Okay, wonderful. All right, lots of great comments. I don't know if you saw these on the video. People loved it.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I don't have any, I can't open up the questions box or anything.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, a lot of great, really nice comments. They really liked it. They said one of the things someone said it's really different, which is really nice and refreshing to see. So anyway, okay. Question from Lynette. We massage the enzyme into the skin. Is that something that you recommend?
Not really. You know why? Because you get hot spots. Yeah. How about this? So, you know, like with blueberry enzyme, I have to glove up a lot of times with that. I put that out of, I take that out of my mask dish and I place and press that blueberry in, but I don't rub it into the skin. With massage comes circulation, comes warmth. And when that calms down, that pulls that product into the skin, and you deposit enzymes too deep, you get some hot spots. You might get wacky outcomes with that. So I know that I'm kind of splitting hairs there, but how about apply, press, and place, or brush on? Don't friction rub for warmth. Now the second masks, right? The goji, the seaweed, the charcoal, yes, you could massage those in because there's no enzymes in that or acids. So those are meant to be massaged in a little bit easier.
Okay, great. Sorry, Dave, I lost my questions box. Right. So let me pull it back up. Where did it go? Questions, where are you? That's really bizarre.
Sometimes if you click your orange button there at the top and then re-click back into that little arrow, it'll bring it back up into you.
Oh, there it is. Got it. Yeah. Strange. Okay. Okay, another question from Lynette. What is your summer strategy for lightening? do you hold off on doing lightning treatments?
You know, a lot of people will because of the sun influence. And Lynette, I hear what you're saying on that. However, me peeling in Arizona, it's kind of flip-flopped here. You would think it wouldn't be, but everybody kind of stays in the summer here. They're really aware of what they're going out in the daylight sun, you know. So people out here have a tendency to peel more, but really the question is, what is it with their sunscreen? Are they sunscreen compliant? You know if they are or not. So I do the ones that are sunscreen compliant, and I push the ones that aren't sunscreen compliant back out into the fall. But I think Colorado is probably the same, you know. Well, your summers are beautiful up there, but people want to get outdoors in the fall out here, so they actually are more, you know, they get more sun in the fall time of the year than in the summer. It's kind of weird to think about that.
Great. All right, question from Rachel. With the lactic lightning peel on week 2, could we add it to an enzyme like the passion fruit?
Yes, you could if you needed to. However, that passion fruit, do it by itself first to see how your client does with it. Then you could make it stronger if you needed to. But keep in mind that passion fruit needs home care for treatment too. Don't just let them do the passion fruit. They've got to be into some home care.
Okay. All right, great. All right, we are getting through these here. Question from Bree. Could you please go over the removal process for the glycolic and lactic peels? How long leave the water/baking soda mixture on the skin? I have only used peels that use water to remove them.
All right. Is that Bree Nahad? Is that who that
Bree, no, it's Bree Hagen.
Oh, hey, Bree. I know another Bree out in Colorado. That might have been her. So you neutralize, don't you? Your neutralization solution, and you make this before any lactic or glycolic alpha hydroxy acid peel. Take your bowl of water, you put 1 teaspoon of baking soda in your water and 1 teaspoon of baking soda to 1 cup of water. Or in my Dave's recipe for success, a good shake of baking soda and fill that bowl up with water. You know, you want to alkalinize the water. And then after that, when the peel is ready to take off, I use 4x4 gauze or aesthetic wipe, or excuse me, yeah, 4x4 aesthetic wipe. You dip that in the water, wring it out a little bit, and then you work that over the skin really quick. You flip those pads over, work it over, and toss those pads. You get your second set of pads, dip it in the water, and you do that 3 times. You never put the pad that's touched the skin into the bowl of water because that contaminates that water. So do your thing, neutralize, pitch. Second set, neutralize, pitch. Third set, neutralize, pitch, right? And after about 3 sessions of that, you should neutralize those acids off the skin. You might kind of tone them down lightly with a little cucumber toner and then SPF. Remember, we don't want to introduce too much moisture to that skin, but a little cucumber just to kind of set the stage for that SPF will be great.
Okay, great. We have a question. What peel do you recommend for the back?
Oh, how about, well, I'm thinking that's going to be Enzymes with that. You know, with back knee, I'm thinking that's probably what they want to talk about. I would use pomegranate enzyme first. You know what I'm saying? Because pomegranate has 2% salicylic that goes after oil. And I'd also have my cranberry turnover peel there in case you want to spot treat with that. Another good product would be stuff like our raspberry scrub. You know, scrub the back really good, take warm towels, take that off, have your steamer going, put on your enzyme. So there's that. Gosh, there's many things you can do with the back, can't you? Just kind of depends on what you want to do, but it typically involves a really good exfoliation, a good enzyme, but yet you want it to be a little bit relaxing too. People like back treatments for that very reason.
Definitely. Little massage.
No massage, extractions, don't forget the extractions too, you know.
Yes. What do you suggest for sensitive skin for peel home care for pigmentation?
Sensitive, say that again, sensitive skin.
Sensitive skin for peel home care for pigmentation.
Well, I would say stuff like pomegranate cleanser, green tea cleanser. Now, their choice. I love retinol scrub, but they might have sensitivities to that retinol. So if they do, I would use our beta carotene papain renewal serum at night to recondition that skin. You mentioned pigmentation in there, Wendy, too, so they're going to have to use glycolic retinol pads at some level. So maybe like every other night of glycolic pads. They wouldn't use them every night depending on sensitivities, you know, but that's the doer for skin lightening. So they've got to get some of those onto their skin, and then of course a good moisturizer, and then their chosen or their SPF.
Great. How are you doing on time, Dave? It's 11 o'clock here, 10 o'clock there.
Let's go ahead and finish a few more. I've got about 10 more minutes here.
Okay. Yep. Let's see. I'm trying to find some that the eucalypt. Someone's asking about the eucalyptus enzyme.
Oh, that comes out this summer. Yes, that was a hit. Oh my God.
Yes.
Don't miss that enzyme. Oh, did you see that last year? I know you did, Wendy. And then the honey mask with it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That'll be coming out. You can check that out on our website.
Okay, great. All right, here's a question from Kim. Can your TCA peels be used on melanin skin to darkest skin tone? I've never used TCA. Okay.
Yeah, it's safe for all fits. So notice that we use the percentage for that TCA. It's 10%. And so that keeps it well within safety for all Fitzpatrick types 1 through 6. You know, that TCA, oh gosh, those can be built and formulated many, many different ways. So listeners out there, if you're going to change between us and other product lines on TCA, really make sure you read that TCA, other people's goals and how to apply safely with that, because you know chemists do that TCA many, many different ways. Ours is gentle and it self-neutralizes, so but that doesn't mean everybody's does, so just FYI.
Okay. All right, we have a good question from Jamie here. She is off during this shutdown. She's offering curbside pickup and porch delivery for her clients' home care needs, and she would like to know if it is okay that she offers SkinScript retail on her online store.
Yes, if you're a valid client from us and we validated you, absolutely.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, we sell to the licensed esthetician. That's our goal.
Yes. All right. Do you think you will keep drop shipping once we are back to work?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we had always been drop shipping. It's just that we got busier with it. People saw the advantage to that, but we've had drop ship for years and years.
And and for us, for Alexander's, we did kind of minimal drop shipping before this, but we really stepped it up, and we are going to be keeping that as a service even after everything is back to our new normal. Is what we're saying.
And you know, I think that virtual you know, skin analysis and selling online, we're just entering into that right now. We've only been doing it 6 weeks. I think that's going to mushroom as well.
Right.
So, you know.
All right, another question from Bree. What about mixing enzymes together? Do you recommend doing that?
On that, Bree, instead of just like putting a whole bunch of enzymes in a mass dish and stirring them, what about custom placing them, like T-zone congestion, maybe pomegranate, dry cheeks, coconut enzymes? So, you know, custom lay those on the skin. It's more meaningful for ingredients that way.
Okay. Can you talk about your SPF? Someone would like to know about the
Our SPF is a 13.5% zinc oxide. It's a physical protectant. It's made up of a kind of a different zinc. It's called Zinc Clear, Z-I-N-C-L-E-A-R, Zinc Clear. And the trick with that is when you put that on your skin, again, place and press and don't friction rub it on the skin. You'll notice if you start to put too much warmth and friction, that will pill up behind you. It'll be, what's that like eraser dust coming off of there? So place, press, let the warmth of the skin accept it, kind of feather that off, and it lays beautifully. Another thing you can do is mix it in with any moisturizer as well. That will help the application process. It kind of smooths it out a little bit more. But it again, it's a It's a clear formula. It looks white in the tube, but it dries clear. So that's why we can use it on all Fitzpatrick types.
Okay, awesome. From Marlene, she has a couple questions. First one is, I have some clients who have too high of a tingle with the seaweed mask. Why? Yes.
You know what, Marlene? I bet that's because of the tea tree. Are those people dry anyway, Marlene? That's my question to you. Are they a lower fits who tend to be dry? I bet they are. And if, you know, that's just how their skin is built, but you can also talk about lacking moisture. So the reason they're feeling that, the reason it's tingly or warm is because that tea tree is getting down into the cracks in between the corneocytes, you know, and the skin can feel that, right? So when you're talking to people, say, hey, is that tingly warm or tingly cool? If they go tingly warm, you go, gosh, you're missing hydration. That's exactly what that ingredient's telling me. Let's get you some ageless hydrating serum. Let's bump up your moisture, because if it's tingly cool, then that means they have enough lipids within their skin structure, and that seaweed sitting on top of that, tea tree is on top, not eliciting any warming response. So use ingredients to tell you what the skin's missing, and in this case, it's missing moisture. Okay,
great.
Easily ageless serum, moisturizers, cucumber toner, you know, that type of stuff.
Awesome. Follow-up question for acne from Marlene is, would you recommend the raspberry or the charcoal cleanser for acne?
Oh, Marlene, what's going on with the oils? Assess the oils. How, you know, that's part one. And how bacteria driven is it? That's part two. So raspberry refining cleanser has 2% glycolic and 2% salicylic. So that's going to shear the skin down and go after oil, and it's a daily cleanser. The charcoal doesn't have any acids in it. It's just clay and charcoal in that product. So, you know, if it's just oil and not a whole bunch of bacteria, you might leave, and they're younger, you might just leave them in the cucumber or the charcoal cleanser. But if they're kind of got a whole lot of bacteria and reddened skin conditions and pustular stuff and oil is present, you might use raspberry refining. I know it's splitting hairs there, but you know, there's some variables to that. And if you might want to give them a sample of each and see which one they respond to more. However, Marlene, let me say this, your goal is not to dry the skin out. So that's the challenge with kind of acne-based cleansers. People think that's the answer, you know, to dry skin out. But the cleansing is part of the answer, but then we're going to offer it some treatment later. So we'll talk about spot treatment and those clarifying toner pads and that type of stuff as well. But I see what you mean with that. You do have a choice. It's just a, you know, as needed basis. Everybody's just a little different on that.
Okay, great. So how about 2 more questions, Dave?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can the glycolic wash be used every day by clients? I worry it can be stripping over time.
Yeah, I would worry about that too. How about this is a therapeutic cleanser, and they would use it every other day, 3 or 4 times a week. You might have that client that does use it every day, but that would be a thick skin, oily skin. After time, wouldn't that kind of go down? You know, you'd kind of shear that skin down, that would regulate itself. So the question becomes out there, are they getting red? If they're saying, oh my gosh, I'm red and dry, that's the indication that they're over exfoliated. They would take a step away from the glycolic cleanser. People love that stuff though, don't they, Wendy? They love it, they love it, they love it, and you have to talk them down from that sometimes. So you might have a therapeutic cleanser and a secondary cleanser, right? Maybe therapeutic for glycolic and maybe pomegranate as a second cleanser, kind of back and forth all the time with that.
Okay, awesome. All right, and the last question I'm going to squeeze in is from my dad.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to know, who is your favorite all-time distributor?
Oh my gosh, I don't know who don't like food. I'm going to say Wesley up in Colorado. Yeah. You guys, if you've not seen Wesley, the chief operating officer up at Colorado, you must, is he around there today?
Yep, he is.
You better get him on the picture there. Get him in front of him. But Pat, I love you guys. I think you do great work, you know, and like I said earlier, I don't know if you guys heard me, I love your energy and your heart is in the right place, you know. I am modeling my life so I could be like C and Pat, you know. I want to be joyful. Isn't that fun?
Yes. All right. You saw him.
Uh-oh. I want to see Wesley. He's the, oh, there he is, everybody, the one and the only.
He
Can you see why I have a crush on him?
clearly just woke up.
Look at that big boy.
I know.
You guys, I go up and lecture it with Wendy, and he's always there waiting for me, always waiting.
He is. Dave comes
He's
in
doing up.
dressed in your nice suit and sits right on Dave's lap when he comes in.
Look at that face. Oh, he's bored now. Everything's done.
He's ready to go back to sleep. Anyway, I think we should wrap up. Dave, thank you so, so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Nice spending time with you.
Yeah, I know. And we can't wait to do that in person
Okay.
in the near future. And again, contact Alexander's Aesthetics, contact SkinScript. We're here for you to answer your questions.
Absolutely.
Get to something that was, you know, really pressing. I tried to kind of get through most of them. There were still a lot of questions about PPE, disinfectant, kind of products that we're going to be carrying during this time. If you can just refer back to our website, we will be updating that. There is a section that Farhana put together that shows the products that we have now, and then we'll be updating that as we go through. So with that, thank you, Dave.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you, Wendy. See you guys out there. Okay,
Take
bye-bye.
care. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you.